becomes part of it. If you draw a chair and never drew a chair before, you know how a chair is put together. And so you own it at that point. And drawing people in capes is nice, but it's only going to take you so far.
So I want to do something fun. Do you want to do something fun with me?
Not a chance.
Oh. So I guess
Okay,
so
talk me into it.
All right. So I want to do some question to answer because I know some folks out there have some really good questions about Thanos, about art, about comics, about, life itself. That's all you, Ron. I don't have the answer to that. So if you have any questions out there, we have a mic over right here on this aisle to the right there. Don't rush. Absolutely. And please, so I have one rule. If you have a question, you have to give us your name. And then you have to say who you're directing the question to. And it's okay to form a line for questions.
Or we can sit here and hope that somebody comes.
Well, no, it's a little low, so I'm going to pick it up. Hey,
I can't see you from here.
hi, Jim. This is Jason Buhalis from Electric Prism. And I heard you were in town. And Jason, yeah. And I figured I'd come today and say hello and ask you a question or two. As far as the heroic aspects for both of you, when you started creating, was there a calling for you heroically to design something from your inner voices or your desires, heroic presences within you to create something that is a part of who you are intrinsically as a human being? And how would you pass that message on to the youth of today in the absence of mentors and where these heroes become the mentors of the youth and of the adults? I see these big kids, adults dressed in wonderful costumes throughout the day. So what kind of a message as creators of heroes and villains would you share with everyone?
Character is contradiction. Nobody's just one thing. Move it around, try and make it different. Be self-indulgent. As long as they keep giving you work, be self-indulgent. If they stop giving you work, reevaluate. And just try and do the best.
What Jim said.
Okay.
That's pretty profound. I'm here for it. Don't forget to announce who you are.
Hi, I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Sophia.
Okay, so
Well, we were wondering, do you think, for everyone over there, do you think that Thanos has reached, the status of a god?
because in Infinity War, Loki said that Thanos would never be a god. But do you think he's achieved that status at this point? Loki says.
Ooh. That's a very good question.
There's like three different Thanoses. There's the one that's in Marvel Comics, there's one in the movies, and there's mine.
Oh, wait. You have a third Thanos? There's a lot of Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, basically, when I came back to work at Marvel said, forget what we're doing, just go off and do your own thing. And so there was a third Thanos. There's three of them running around.
That's a heck of a personality disorder that's going on.
Yeah, I think the movie one, he borders on godhood. I can't tell you about the Marvel Comics one because I don't read those things. I think mine sort of surpassed most godhood, and I mean, he's reached omnipotence on a number of occasions, and he deals with astral beings that I don't think even Odin did all that often. So it's a different answer for each one. How's that?
All right.
Another
thank
question.
you.
How are you? How
Pardon?
are you today?
How am I today?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I think that's what you asked.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Connor, and this is a question for Ron Lim. This is regarding a different character that you worked on,
Okay.
Venom.
Venom. Oh, yeah, Venom.
Given that the recent movie that came out was mainly based off of Lethal Protector, which you did part of the artwork for, I was curious for what your thoughts on the Venom movie were.
I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. I was surprised. I didn't know what to expect. 'Cause I thought, I didn't hear anything about it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, they changed the story, obviously, for a movie, but I thought they did a good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yvonne, and as artists, before you started your craft and became professionals, how many hours a day did you devote to building your skills and just drawing?
Well, for me, it was I'd get done with school and I'd head for my basement studio and stay there until dinner and then probably afterwards. And when I was in the service, I was sneaking off to draw whenever I had a chance. So I couldn't tell you hours per day or anything like that, but I enjoyed drawing more than I did breathing, so it was a lot.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I spent most of my time, if I wasn't in school or whatever, drawing. I mean, and doing samples or whatever it was, but I drew all the time.
Okay, thank you.
And a quick follow-up to that, how much time do you do, like, now, like, on a daily basis?
It depends on the project. If it's more complicated, then I'll spend more time. But it is about 8 hours, maybe 8, 9 hours around there. And spread out through the day, though. I don't draw continuous in one shot. I'll take a break for a couple hours or 5 hours.
All right.
Hi, my name is Bree. My question is for Mr. Starlin. I'm a big fan of Adam Warlock, and I want to know what your vision was for him when you first brought him back and like the grand scheme of things in the comics.
Okay, like I said earlier, I always like to get some kind of grounding, some one sentence that will tell who the character is. And before I did Adam Warlock, I was working on a character named Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel I took from being a warrior and turned him into sort of a holy man figure. And so when I quit that book and Roy and I agreed that I would do Warlock. Warlock was already a holy man. So there seemed to be only one way to go with that. I needed to turn him into a schizophrenic, paranoid, suicidal maniac. And as it happens, I think it worked out pretty well.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm one of those people who fell in love with Thanos on the screen.
Oh, you're sick.
I know. But my question was, how do you feel you seeing like Thanos on the screen translating to the character that Josh Brolin played?
It's been an interesting experience because he's not exactly what I put down. There are bits and pieces of him that show through. Brolin brought a lot to it on his interpretation of the lines. The actual production forced the character into different spots that he wouldn't have gone otherwise. I think overall it was a terrific job, considering the fact that they didn't have all the characters from the Infinity Gauntlet, and they had 18 movies worth of continuity they had to deal with. I'm very impressed with what came out, and more than happy to live with it.
Thank you.
Hey, my name's Nico. Just kind of going off of that, I just have a question for both of you. If there was like another person other than Josh Brolin you think could have portrayed Thanos better?
I had no idea that they were going to do the whole motion capture thing and that. I thought it was just going to be a voiceover job. Brolin was never on my watch list at all. I was thinking somebody with a gravelly voice like a post-cancerous Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought Idris Elba would have been terrific for a voice. But now, after just watching the way he moved around alone, I mean, he just went and studied those comic books, and he's not that big a guy. But he looks so enormously large, just the way he moves, not from the fact that they blew him up CGI so he's 9 feet tall. He moves like a lumbering brute in that movie, and I just thought that was incredible looking.
I didn't have any idea who could play him, because I thought it was like Jim said, I thought it was going to be a CGI character that they would do a voiceover kind of thing. But yeah, so I have no actors in mind.
Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah, He'd be sweet.
He was my third choice.
That'd be awesome.
Hello, I'm Shannon.
Hi.
And I'm Vincent. And
Hello.
And I was wondering, why does Thanos has purple skin?
Too many grapes.
Yeah, maybe
It was just it was a good color that went with the rest of his costume. It was a complementary color to all that blue and gold. And that's the truth, actually.
I'm very excited about this answer now.
How do you pull this mic down?
There we go.
Why does he have lines on his chin?
These are all very important questions.
He got caught in a car door.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's rough. Thank you for your question.
They're going to take my job from me. These are very important questions.
And I'm treating them very seriously.
As you should.
Hi, my name is Saham.
And I'm Omar.
We were wondering, what's Thanos' foot size?
Oh. What's Thanos' foot size? I'm sure his boots are all custom, though, so this is a guess here.
When I was drawing him, I decided his feet and head should be about the same size.
What?
Yeah. So I never exactly set out the size, but he's about 9 feet tall, probably somewhere around a 25. Maybe a 30.
25, 30. This is so we now understand that he ate too many grapes. He got his chin stuck in a car door, and his feet are 25, 30. These are very important answers that you will now be able to take home to your friends for trivia.
I'm taking away all the magic. Sorry, guys. Captain America.
Hi.
Get me out of this.
Okay, here's my question.
Wait, what's your name first?
Oh, my name is Joshua, sorry. So writing is something that everybody can do, but very few can truly excel at it, and you're one of the few that excels at it. So what would you attribute your writing talent to?
So writing is a talent that a lot of people do, but not a lot of people excel at. But you have excelled at it. So what do you contribute that success to? I got it right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Emery.
Reading a lot, self-indulgence, overconsumption, deadlines, needing to get a paycheck.
Those are good motivators.
Paychecks are important.
Getting nagged by editors. I could go on all day. It's just life in general. Wandering around and getting ideas and trying to get them down on paper somehow or another.
That's great.
No real secrets. It's just a lot of hard work.
Thank you.
Next up.
Hi, my name's Yulisa, and my question is, how do you deal with writer's block?
How do you deal with writer's block?
I don't.
Never had it.
I'm so jealous right
Mostly
now.
I have trouble finding the time to get things done.
I don't write, so.
Well, and I think that's another big question. Like, how many projects generally are you working on any given point in time? If as you're doing these things.
Right now, I'm remastering the coloring on Dreadstar. Have a short story I have to write for Shockwave. And I'm toying around with a series idea that I have involving a female character, which I've never done as a lead before. And I'm editing the third book in a novel series.
No big deal. No big deal. What about you, Ron?
Well, schedule depends on. It's so erratic. I mean, sometimes I can be working on 3 projects in 1 month. Other times just one. So it all depends. It's so random. I can never figure it out.
So maybe you don't have writer's block, but how do you get, what are the things, what are the elements that you have to have? Is there a certain movie? Is there a certain music? Is there certain places, a certain type of pens or papers or a time of day that work best for your creative processes?
Well, first I have to